during which he said these words: "Where justice is denied, where poverty is enforced, where ignorance prevails, and where any one class is made to feel that society is an organized conspiracy to oppress, rob, and degrade them, neither persons nor property will be safe." What does that have to do with today's topic? We're talking about men and how they are to walk like Jesus today. Let's talk about that. So welcome again to this podcast today. We are talking about manhood according to Jesus. Today is lesson 8, almost there. Lesson 8 is simply this: real men, godly men, men who understand the times, challenge injustice wherever they see it. If there's an injustice, men should rise to the occasion and take up the mantle and do something about it. If they have the power within themselves to do it, they should do it. They don't just sit there and watch things happen to other people. If people are being taken advantage of, real men stand up for justice. In Luke chapter 11, we see Jesus with this example. While Jesus was speaking, a Pharisee asked him to dine with him, so he went in and reclined at the table. And the Pharisee was astonished to see that he did not first wash before dinner. And the Lord said to him, "Now you Pharisees clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside you're full of greed and wickedness." What? He's in his house saying this. And he goes, "You're full of greed and wickedness. You fools, did not he who made the outside make the inside also? But give as alms those things that are within, and behold, everything is clean for you. But woe to you, Pharisees, for you tithe the mint and every herb and neglect justice." You get that? He said, you neglect justice and the love of God. Those you ought to have done. These you ought to have done without neglecting the others. Woe to you, Pharisees, for you love the best seats in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces. Woe to you, for you are like unmarked graves, and people walk over them without even knowing it. And one of the lawyers answered him, "Teacher, in saying these things, you're insulting us." Well, obviously. And he said, "Woe to you, lawyers, because here's the things you're doing wrong. For you load people down with burdens too hard to bear, and you yourselves do not touch the burdens with one single finger. Woe to you, for you build the tombs of the prophets, whom your fathers killed. So you are witnesses, and you consent to the deeds of your fathers, for they killed them, and some of them of who killed will, and some of whom they will kill and persecute, so that the blood of all the prophets shed from the foundation of the world may be charged against this generation, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary. Yes, I tell you, it will be required of this generation. Woe to you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You did not enter yourselves, and you hindered those who were entering." Jesus was very upset with these religious leaders. They were putting burdens on people that they could not bear. Not only were they keeping themselves out of the kingdom of heaven, they were making it impossible for other people to come to the kingdom. Jesus saw injustice and he stood up to it. He challenged it, even in this own Pharisee's house. He challenged his thought process. He challenged the way he was doing things. We as men should stand up and challenge injustice wherever we see it. Jesus walked into the temple. He saw the money changers taking advantage of the people there. What did he do? He didn't just say, "Oh, well, that's just how it is." No, he walked in. He flipped the tables. He drove them out with a whip. And he told them, "You should not, this should be a house of prayer, and you make my Father's house a marketplace." Come on. That's not right. That's not what God intended. And we need to understand as men that God has given us the responsibility to take injustice and do something with it, to see injustice in the world and try to correct it with as much power that we have. Jesus could walk into the temple and drive the people out and then throw over the money changers and tip the tables. Why? Because it was his house. He had that authority. He had that right. It was his house. And so whatever influence that God has given to you, wherever you are, use that influence, use that authority to combat injustice today. So that's it. That's it today. Where do you see injustice? Do something about it. If you have the power to do something about it. If you don't have the power to do something about it, pray about it and pray that God would give you influence to do something about it. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today for lesson 8. Real men see injustice and do something about it.